Guess what? I haven't grown an inch by worrying. Hello, my dear friends. Believe everything is going good with all of us. Finally, it's spring in the part of the world we live. We're able to get out our houses and get some sun. Well, let's start off our learning for today. Today, we are talking about one of the most common experiences that we all go through in our day-to-day lives. It is an energy draining, zero helping, and a negative thing we all do, and that is called worrying. Worries. It's gotten into our minds so deep that it has become a dominant way of thinking, and we often don't even realize we are fully submerged in that worrying. Please go with me to the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 6, verses from 25 to 34, where Jesus is talking about how we humans worry. He's talking about our day-to-day worries. Now, for the sake of timing, we won't be reading all the verses from 25 to 34, but we'll just focus on a couple of verses here. Sorry for that. We'll just focus on a couple of verses here, mainly verse 27 and 34. Let's read it together, shall we? Verse 27. Which of you, by taking thought, can add 1 cubit unto his stature? Verse 34. Take therefore no thought for tomorrow, for tomorrow shall take thought for the things of itself. Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof. This is, of course, from King James translation, but it is interesting to note that modern English Bibles have replaced this word thought with worry. Original versions say, don't take thought for tomorrow. New Modern English Bibles say, don't worry about tomorrow. Wait, not just that. Even more striking is how it has been translated from the Aramaic to English. The speaker keeps going back to these Aramaic translations because that was the spoken language of Jesus when he was on this earth. Right, so the Aramaic one translated like this. Verse 27. But who of you, while taking pains, is able to add a foot and a half to his stature? Please notice carefully. They have used the word pain for thoughts. Does it mean that thoughts refer to worries? Or thoughts could mean worries and pains? Let us understand this together. But firstly, let me share some facts here with you. In 2005, the National Science Foundation published an article summarizing research on human thoughts per day. It was found that an average person has about 12,000 to 60,000 thoughts per day. 12 to 60,000 thoughts per day. Of those thousands of thoughts, 80% were negative and 95% were exactly the same repetitive thoughts as the day before. To put it simply, majority of our thoughts are repetitive and negative. That's the tendency of the mind to focus on the negative and play them over and over repeatedly. Look at what Jesus is saying in verse 31. Therefore, take no thought, saying, what shall we eat? Or what shall we drink? Or wherewithal shall we be clothed? Now, if you observe, my friends, Most of our thoughts are concerning our daily needs and requirements. Like, how am I going to get that money? How will I succeed? How am I going to provide? How do I get my child to stop doing what he's doing? Things of everyday life like this for food, money, future. And sadly, all those are repetitive. And according to one more interesting research, again a research, looks like we're having a bit of scientific take on our spiritual talk today. But it's all right, we can do that. It's all science and facts, not some fiction, so it's allowed. Besides, science and spirituality are inseparable. Right, so according to this study done by Cornell University, scientists found that firstly, 85%, listen to this, 85% of what we worry about never happens. 85% never happens. Secondly, with that 15% of the worries that did actually happen, most of the people who participated in that research, they have discovered that either they could handle the difficulty better than expected, or that particular difficulty taught them a lesson that's worth learning. The conclusion of that research is that 97% of our worries are baseless. 97 baseless. Now that's a good feat, friends. Go ahead, you can clap. Jokes. Right, in simpler words, almost 80% of our worries are totally unnecessary and baseless. The rest of them are manageable. We can handle them. That means they have solutions. So, most of the times, most of us have been worrying unnecessarily for something that was never going to happen in the first place. If you can consider, this should be an eye-opener for many of us. Personally, this realization has helped me a lot in my own journey. But again, one may question, why do we worry in the first place? Why? We worry because somehow we feel that we are in charge of everything, forgetting that there is an ultimate supreme power over all of us that can help us. We worry when we forget the power of God. We worry when we shift our focus from the unlimited God's power to our limited abilities and capacities. We worry because we fall for the trick and the trap of our own mind that make it looks like as though being worried is important, but it's not. Just because you're worried about a particular issue or you're worried about someone doesn't mean that you actually are fixing that. In fact, it's quite the opposite. You are actually making the issue bigger than what it is. You're making it stronger by thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking and overthinking it. Because some confuse worrying with being concerned, with being careful. No, it's not. Please understand, concern is a positive emotion. It has a wish and an effort for the welfare. And it often produces a solution for the problem, should there be any. But worry, on the contrast, it's a negative feeling that neither help the one who is worrying, nor the one for whom you're worrying. It's not going to help you, and it's not going to help for whom you're worrying. So why should you entertain it so much? Come on, where is your faith? Jesus is asking every single one of us, why do you worry, O you of little faith? You must have heard this. They say you cannot stop birds flying over your head, but definitely you can stop them building a nest on your head. Similarly, negative thoughts are something like that. They may come, they may go, but they shouldn't sink into you. Because worries, my friends, worries are nothing but negative thoughts that wander all over in your head, actively and passively, without actually offering any achievable or attainable solution. And most of them, if you notice, are hypothetical. Oh, how am I going to survive with this salary? How am I going to achieve my dream? What am I going to do when I retire? What if I don't get that job? What will people say if I don't build a big house or wear flash clothes? What if someone asks me about my child who's in trouble now? What if this? What if that? So many what ifs. Check once. Please pause the audio if required. Pause the audio for a moment and check once. You will know and you will agree that it's true. That's why Jesus is saying, which of you can add an inch to his stature by worrying? And the modern Bibles say, which of you can add a single moment to your life by worrying? We cannot gain or achieve anything but worrying, my friends. But let me tell you what we surely can gain by worrying. Short depression, stress, diabetes, sleepless nights, overeating, obesity, drinking habits, age quicker, and die sooner. This much is guaranteed. Aren't the doctors telling us the same? You see, when we face an issue, we may get negative and troublesome thoughts about that particular issue, but that doesn't mean that you feed those thoughts with fear, anxiety, or any negativity that they finally take a strong hold on you, and now you are in a bar drinking away to forget your worries. That's why understanding our vulnerabilities, Jesus is assuring and encouraging us that if God can take care of the birds of the air, if God can clothe the grass which is today and dead tomorrow, how much more He loves us, how much more He values us and takes care of us. So what on earth are you worried for? Why don't you have faith? You go on telling people all the time to believe in God, to have faith in God. But when it comes to you, when you're facing a challenge, you start worrying. Where is your own faith? You know, my friends, you're called as a believer and a follower of God, not basing on what type of denomination you belong to or which kind of church you attend, what's your religion or sect or your lineage. You are called as a believer of God and a follower of Christ, basing on your faith in the one and only one true living God. God the Father, God the Creator, Jehovah Jireh. So when you lose focus on God and His power, you automatically fall to the trap of the mind, which makes you doubt God's power and His provision. And guess what? When you do that, guess what? You are no less than an unbeliever of God, a Gentile. That's why, my friends, that's why Jesus here says that Gentiles, which means non-believers of God, worry about all such things. Of course, because obviously they don't have any hope. They don't see the light of God. But if you call yourself a child of God, a follower of Christ, if you really have faith in God's love and His power, then no matter what may be your issue, you will not worry about it, period. Issue may be there, lack may be there, needs may be there, but you'd not worry about it. You would simply do focused thinking and take it into God's presence through prayer. In the last verse, Jesus said, "Don't worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow has its own troubles. Today is enough to deal with." Please get this. Here, Jesus is saying, don't think so much about tomorrow, which no one is sure of. Just live in the present, here and now, and live in faith. Tell me, who has seen tomorrow? Who knows what's going to happen tomorrow under the sun? Especially in these confusing times and the world we all are living in. Today has its own troubles to deal with. Pray for your today and for what is in front of you now. That's enough. Don't project yourself into the future so much that you burden yourself with worries concerning your life. Please don't get too much identified and too much attached with your worries. Don't be a worrier. Be a warrior. Live in the present, please. Live in the present, here and now. One at a time, deal with stuff that is right in front of you today. That's precisely called focus thinking. Focus thinking is the best way to fix any issue, my friends. Focus thinking means when there is an issue, small or big, when there is some challenge, you will address it in a timely manner, looking at it clearly without being clouded with emotions and preconceptions, and understand and weigh all the options to resolve it, put them in the place, and then take it to God in prayer and leave it in His hands, and you go. You just go, relax, have a nice shower, eat something, go shopping, go for a coffee, or watch some clean comedy show while God, Jehovah Jireh, is coming to help you, because He knows what you need. Jesus said, our Heavenly Father already knows what we need even before we ask. My friend, you are not in charge of everything. God is. So don't worry, just be merry. Don't worry, just be merry. Finally, just one small question. Do you think God has power only to solve others' issues but not yours? No. Then why on earth are you worried? Just do what you can, then leave it in God's hands and have faith. Let go. Let God. Be blessed, my friends.